Alright people, welcome to part 2 of installing a monster transmission in that Chevy Cheyenne that belongs to our neighbor. So stick around, stay tuned, we're gonna button that thing up today. We don't freeze to death. It's super cold. Now, before we get started, I'd like to bring to your attention that this transmission that's going in this truck is not the same as the one that Joe has in his lowrider.
If you go online, there's 3 different classes. There's the one that's better than stock,
which
OEM,
is that one.
Which is that one. There's the one that I got, which is the one that I put in my Phantom Dually that you can see. And then they got the one that's just sick for you guys that got the real sweet gassers and want to blast down the road.
And squill the tires and everything and it not damage your transmission. I mean, what do you think they run in their NASCAR? It's not a Buick transmission. It's not a transmission from the factory. It's one of their own.
I love their product. I'll never buy anything else. Got a little jar I save all my change and dollar bills in, and as soon as I can afford another transmission, it's off. I have a dream that all of my trucks will have monster transmissions in them. Because it's not just automatics. They do manuals. They do all kinds of
engines, other parts. You can check it out on their site. I'll flash up the link. But I wanted to clarify that because some of you I know that watched the one where Joey put the monster inside his lowrider. Some of you guys are keen and notice differences, and I just wanted to clarify that just in case you were scoping it. Alright people, the next step, you're going to want to use your jack and jack up a little pressure onto the tranny. That way you can take the pressure off this middle attaching bolt to get the tranny loose. And then you can take out 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on that side, right above Joe's head, and remove the cross member and finally drop down the exhaust. Joe got clever and used a piece of plywood on the bottom and then put some foam on there so it doesn't
damage the transmission.
They
sell transmission jacks, I'm just too cheap.
Something else you can make at home by yourself with some tape and some foam.
Doesn't hurt nothing.
And it doesn't hurt nothing. No dents, no dings. So we're gonna do that, and then when we come back, the cross member will be gone.
And the exhaust pipe will be out.
And the exhaust pipe will be out.
Remember, once you get the cross member out of the way, the exhaust pipe will drop straight down.
And you could try to fish it out if you want, but this is easier. And I've got the cross member out, and we're lowering it down a little bit to finish taking off all these little connections that we couldn't get to. You might have to take off your upper rear tranny mount to get it up and out because it has a bolt that comes down. But this will vary on every vehicle. So we're gonna finish disconnecting this and we're gonna drop this and start putting stuff back onto the new one. Alright boys and girls, you just follow the bolt pattern, get the bolts out, bang your hand around, just make sure everything's supported and you'll be alright.
And if you guys have any questions, call the tech support.
They'll help you.
Great bunch of guys.
Just tell them what you're doing, even if you don't know the name of it. Say the doohickey on the right hand side, the thingy, the big thingy, and they'll go, oh, okay, we know what that is.
They know what they're doing.
So they'll help you out, man.
After you get the cross member out and get your exhaust pipe out, get your tranny, you gotta unbolt the tranny mount
in the back
from the cross member, because if you jack too high, you'll crush all these wires. So
and the hard lines for the cooler.
So it's easier just to take these 2 bolts out of the tranny mount, let it unbolt, slide the whole transmission out, bolt
on the jack,
lift it up, then you take a screwdriver and you gotta pop this little, there's an inspection hole right there, pop that off. There's 4 bolts on the back that holds.
You have to take the starter and the dustpan off too.
The dust shield off. Then as it comes around, you just take your 15mm
and you brace the screwdriver. Don't break the teeth.
Get it on your.
And you take the bolts out.
Your bolt comes right out.
You disconnect. This is breaking it loose from the flywheel so you can pull it back.
Takes the torque converter off the flywheel.
Necessary step. And that's something they don't always show you.
Once we drop it, we'll show you what to do next.
Anyway, Joe's taking off the sensors and junk. See all the little red caps on here? you gotta transfer all your junk from that one to this one. And you can't really screw up because, as you can see, they're the same transmission. Except this is the better one. So he's gonna do that. And I'm gonna do a little surprise for the owner of this. He saw one of his parts and kind of bummed him out, so I'm gonna trick it out for him.
Yeah, we showed him that the guy that sold it to him crashed the front end into something, smashed up the A-arms.
Yeah, I yelled at him like it was his fault. Joey's like, shut up, dude. And he's like, no, the guy that owned it before me did it.
You're hurting his feelings, man. You can't go hurting people feel bad.
That's me. I'll do it. Someone's got to do it, and it's me. So I'm going to go do that little surprise project. Think Ty's surprise project on Extreme Makeover. I'm going to do that for dude. You see, I was mean. I'm making up for it. Redemption. Since I was out back doing my Ty project for dude, the special project, Joe has since transferred all the hardware onto the new transmission. Shift linkage, electrical sensors. The red cap's still on there, but that one already, it came with it. You don't have to transfer that one. And then we're getting ready to bolt it up. We have to take this off, and then we're gonna
leave it on there until we get it up close, and then I'll pull it off.
We're gonna slide it up in there and repeat everything we just did in reverse. And then we'll show you when it's done. Okay, people, it's now 5 o'clock and we got everything put back in. A little special project thing I was talking about is that drive line. I painted dude's drive line for him because it was so hammered and rusted. Maybe that'll add a little life to it. Especially dressing up looking underneath this ugly pig. So we're gonna idle it for a minute and then adjust the fluids and then test her out. Right, Job?
Yep.
Yep. Alright, people, the truck's running. As you can see, it's dark as hell. It's holding, it's got all the gears right.
Everything works.
No problem.
I mean, now it's just, now you can hear his motor sounds like poop.
Yeah, you gotta clean your motor up a little bit. You got some squeaky alternator.
Cut Mark's transmission and order yourself a new crate motor.
So basically with two guys, yesterday's episode we had 2.5 hours into it, and today we started at 9:30 till 5. 9 to 5, that's 8 hours. 8, 9, 10.
About 10 hours.
About 10 hours with two guys and hand tools.
Jack stands.
It would have been easier if the bolts weren't so rusty, but...
Well, it would have been easier if I did like in and just put it on a lift and used all my stuff, but...
So there we go. We're gonna go drop this off to dude and woohoo!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We did our good deed for the year. Alright people, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thanks to Monster Transmission and WD-40, because without that we would have never got any of those bolts off. So thanks for tuning in and watching Bethel Brothers Hot Rod. Peace out, babies.
Call them. EatMyShip.com.
Monster Transmission rules.